Hey guys, I wanted to record a quick video for some of the config files that are currently available. So you do have some options right now. I have not finished my config system, but some of it should be hooked up and working. For example of that, the density system and the actual limb cutting system should be hooked up and working properly. If you want to see what that looks like, basically these will be eventually turned into external systems that you can write to. So basically, let me show you how you would go about setting that up. So basically, we have the mod of I Am Legion, and in that we now have these I Am Legion scripts that are definition files that are tucked down underneath the actual mod. So you can find some of those in AI, and you can find some of those in the scripts folder. And basically, let me show you what those will look like when you bring them up. If we load up, for example, the AI gore settings, which can be found under the AI folder. So if we bring up the I Am Legion AI gore settings, let's bring that up. You can see here that basically we have these different settings for each one of the virals and infected. The idea here is that if you wanted to go in here and actually make it to where the virals are not able to have their legs and arms cut off, that they're only able to have, for example, if we only want their arms to be able to cut off and not their legs, then you can go here to legs and set this to true. And basically that will then make it to where you are no longer killing off the virals when you I apologize, the opposite. It will make it to where you will no longer be able to chop off the viral's legs and they stay alive. So basically, if you turn this to true, they will die immediately. I'm still looking at options for actually going in there and setting this up to where they will use some of the biter animations to where they'll actually crawl on the ground. But for now, there is a big difference between biters and virals as far as being able to use the dismember system. So eventually it would be nice to even see things like the banshees and all these humans and that kind of thing have the same concept to where they're bleeding out or they're disabled and on the ground kind of thing. But basically that's going to have to be some work with the animation files. Okay guys, thanks. If you have any questions, first I would just start going through some of these definition files that I've created. As I said, some of them are not currently fully implemented, some of them are still ongoing progress, and so I have not made a full video demonstrating all the use cases. I've not created the documentation for these, but for specific things like setting up the dismember system, all of that is set up with the I Am Legion AI gore settings definition file. So if you go and make that change, this is how you can actually make sure that the future updates of this mod stay true with your private settings. So I will let you guys know if I go in there and change anything, but basically if you wanted to make sure that you are able to keep these configurations and then in the future continue to update, as I continue to update the mod, your configurations stay the same, you can grab my configuration file. So you see here I just copied my data 3 and rename that to data 4. If we open that up, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to all the files other than those configuration files and delete them. So basically we can delete all additional folders other than where I have those config files. So AI Life, I also have a config file. And so currently I think it's AI Life and scripts. So we can delete out these other ones as well. And you can see here we do have to go into scripts and make sure these are deleted, but the end result should be that we have these different settings files. Basically what this will allow you to do is that in the future, if you go in here and make changes to these, they'll start to be activated more and more as I continue to update the mod, provided that none of the actual variables change. So I'll let you know if that's no longer the case. I would not get too caught up on this idea just yet until I actually go through and finalize the system. But basically the idea here is that if you went in here, made changes to this I Am Legion AI gore settings file, which we just did over here in our extracted file, I can drag this into that file, and this file will now contain the fact that if I cut off the viral's legs, that in the future it will always kill those virals. And so that will fix your mod for now. And then in the future, as I update I Am Legion, you can continue to update your data 3, and those data 4s will be loaded in afterwards and continue to configure with your personal settings. Okay, thanks guys.